Hello, I'm Nige.
I'm Anders. We're here for a cheeky extra. Tell me, Nige, what you got there?
Well, I've got this is from my pack of little Belgian beers I had. It was
Oh,
six
blimey.
beers, and this is Piraat. Piraat.
Piraat. Yeah.
It's a blonde beer. It says this high fermenting blonde beer enhanced with secondary fermentation has a full hearty aroma apparently, and it comes in at 10.5%.
Yeah. Well done. I mean, you really have, knocked caution to the wind, is what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I, on the other hand, I could bring these down. I'm going for the Broken Dream from the Siren brewery.
Right.
It's a breakfast stout.
Oh.
Should you be having a stout for breakfast? I don't know. I suppose if you're going to have any beer for breakfast, it's going to be a stout. But,
yeah. Have you ever watched The Young Sheldon?
No.
Big Bang Theory.
No.
Oh, there's a bit there because his dad was a bit of an alcoholic. Well, he was drinking beer all the time. And he said there was one phrase that there, I think he said something like, Mum was really angry or something. She was as angry as that time Dad had the breakfast beer. Yep, that
angry. Well, this comes in at 6.5%, which is 4 points less than yourself.
Let's have a look at the bottle.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. It's quite a nice little. There we go.
Okay, is it flavoured or is it just?
It's a chocolatey stout.
Okay.
Chocolatey stout. An indulgence of coffee. Chocolate. A specialty malt. Broken Dream is smooth. Oh, this is a word I like. Unctuous. Unctuous. Not normally a word I'd like because I'm not a big fan of words that have that kind of unk, like punk or whatever.
Yes.
But unctuous, I like unctuous. That conjures up images of rich darkness and yeah. Well, hey, come on, let's pour these out.
Yep, I'll get a beer can on.
Now, just from the can, here I'm getting quite a nuanced aroma. And I think you'll find that's the first appearance of the word nuanced on this channel.
I should have let you pour yours first so the viewers could see rather than us both.
No, it don't matter. Don't matter. Done now.
Anyway, my blonde beer is actually quite dark for a blonde beer.
In the words of Joe Pasquale, I've had an accident. Spilt it a bit, but there we go.
Yeah, I can see by the darker the head on the stout, you've got more. You get more of the coffee and.
In fairness, that's about the same sort of. That's not too dark a head, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm getting coffee more than chocolate.
Well, what we found in the past, the chocolate comes through a lot later once you. Yeah. You want to dig into yours first before I?
Oh, let's do that. That I tell you what, it's got a great taste to it. That is, I think, everything you expect. It's got the coffee, more espresso than it's quite a punchy little coffee taste.
Yeah.
Chocolate's not coming through too much, to be honest with you.
I reckon that'll come through towards the end.
Towards the end, perhaps, yeah. But I'm a little bit disappointed with the body. It's a little bit thin. It's a little bit watery.
Okay.
Apart from that, you know, I'm being picky.
Oh dear.
Oh Lord, does that smell like 10.5%?
Do you remember when we had the fax beer? How could we forget that? This smells like that. Well, it's 10.5%. It's half more than the fax.
But in fairness, you haven't got as much.
No, I've got a third of all.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the fax one, go and watch it. We'll link it down below. It's a shocking episode of a litre of 10% lager, which is on the first mouthful was okay. The second mouthful was horrible, and it's steadily got worse and worse and worse.
And because it was so bad, we were rushing it because we just wanted rid of it, and we ended up drinking it far too quickly. Anyway, the link for that video was below. Watch it.
Yeah, let's not hang around it too much.
No. This reminds me of that, although it's meant to be a blonde beer, the alcohol's there.
Is it a faxy beer?
To be fair, at the moment, it's not syrupy. But then again, I've only just started this, but I think it's there in the background.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be quite hard work.
Well,
I had the first one from this set last week. One, I can't remember which episode. It might be the last episode we did.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But that was the weakest beer in the pack, which was about 7.2% or something.
Gee whiz.
All the rest of the bottles, I think there's one.
You've had time off, and you thought it was wise to come back with a 10.5%.
Having not drank for a few weeks, I thought,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've just drank 2 stouts, and this is.
This is a follow-up to that, yeah.
I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. This will help me sleep tonight. But I don't think. No, I'm just getting. It's just a syrupy, strong beer.
Do you know what I'm getting a lot? That chocolatiness on the Siren is coming through now.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit too sweet.
So did you say the chocolate's coming through now?
Yeah, and it's a bit too sweet.
Okay.
It's
not your dark chocolates, more your Cadbury's milk chocolate then.
Yeah, it is. So
anyway, let's move away from the beer. Is that a Pink Floyd album behind you?
That's Animals.
This one?
Animals,
yes.
By Pink Floyd.
I don't actually know what's on that album.
Don't you?
I don't own that album, but I've probably heard it in the past. Or could you enlighten me on the track?
Could I elaborate for you? Yeah, the track listing is I can never get it right in order.
Oh dear.
There goes Bowie.
There's Bowie.
Go. So we've got Pigs on a Wing.
Yeah.
Dogs. Pigs, 3 different ones. Sheep.
Right.
And Pigs on the Wing Part 2.
Means nothing, but I think I'd have to hear it and to say that I.
It's an album based on Animal Farm.
Yeah.
The book, not the On the book, yeah. I think the best Pink Floyd album myself.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'm going to have to give that a listen. My Pink Floyd journey started with Shiny Hazy Diamond. Well, no, it started with Another Brick in the Wall, because that was at school at the time.
That was the first one of our age.
But not the album, just the song.
Yeah.
And then it was, someone did a mixtape for me, a C90. Yeah. If you're not old,
C90, yeah,
C90, 90 minutes of music on this, 45 minutes each time, so you can get an album in each time. Anyway, he just did a mixed recording for me of all sorts of stuff, and he had Shine On and Crazy Diamond parts 1 to 5 are there, going into Machine.
Oh, okay.
Wow, and that got me into that Floyd album, and then I bought The Wall, and but prior to that, it was the Syd Barrett Pink Floyd. I've got everything from the Syd Barrett side.
Yeah, I think genuinely, I think the first, as with you, I think the first was probably Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, perhaps, which was a single and big.
Yeah.
We Don't Need No Education. Of course, that was a rally cry to everybody of our age.
Yes, yeah.
And then I don't think I was aware of too much apart from then. Somebody played me Bike, which is from Piper at the Gates of Dawn, which is the first Floyd album. And there's a huge difference between this band.
Oh, they're two different bands, really, aren't they?
Yeah. But I've got a Bike. You can ride it if you like. It's got a basket, a bell, and lots of things to make it look good. In that charming kind of psychedelic way that British people did it.
The tracks, they're genius. Absolute genius, some of those songs.
Yeah. I want to tell you a story, little man, if I can. What a bit Big Reeves there, didn't I? Sorry.
Yeah. So I've got Dark Side of the Moon. I've got a copy of that somewhere. I've listened to that, but that album I've just never come across. I've never bought. I've never played. I don't think I've ever listened to.
No, the Dark Side of the Moon. I think. I mean, it's an astonishing album, and there are songs on there which I just think they're written by people who are so young but so wise. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of Time, gee whiz, that's enough to break a man.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a very mature album.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, there's a big blockbuster film coming out soon called June. And the previews are coming out in the cinemas at the moment, and it's done with Eclipse, which is the final track from Dark Side of the Moon.
All right.
And it makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit.
But June, they made that in the 80s, didn't they, or 90s?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
That was a bit of a flop. Was Sting in it or something?
Yes, he was. Well done.
Yeah. It's about mining spice on another planet or something.
That's right, yeah. It is.
Because that was the mineral or whatever, the mining which does stuff. And
if you want a really quick précis of what's going on in June, because originally a book, I would suggest you go...
Wasn't it?
Sorry?
Wasn't it a trilogy of books?
I don't know.
I think it was.
You might be right. I don't know. But if you want a quick précis of what goes on, I would urge you to go to a song called To Tame a Land on an album called Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden.
Right.
And that will give you a full rundown of exactly what's going on there.
Listen to the song, you've got the whole plot.
Yeah. It's this one's good. I'm excited about this. This is directed by a guy called Denis Villeneuve, who is the director. I know you're a fan of the film Arrival. Arrival. Time is circular.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's brilliant film.
That's a Denis Villeneuve film.
Because you don't know what the hell's going on till right at the end. Then it all makes sense, sort of.
Yeah.
Denis
Villeneuve is a director that I'm drawn to immediately. Anyway, we've gone off topic with this, but the long and short of it is that Animals by Pink Floyd is basically a couple of short songs and then 2 songs called Sheep and Dogs, which are quite long. And it's a beautiful, it's a depiction of George Orwell's Animal Farm, about how people come up and how they have to live with themselves, and you've got to watch over your back and smile to people you hate and stuff like that.
You said too large. It might be a bit too prog rocky for me.
It's prog
rock alert.
Well, yes, there is. I mean, if we go by the Progrock,
up there,
length of time certainly does push it right up on the proggy level. But there's not too many gremlins. There's not too many wizards. There's not too many orcs.
Is that pretty standard with prog rock then?
Prog rock, I mean, in fairness, prog rock, I mean, if we take, I think the proggiest album ever is an album called Tales from Topographic Oceans. Hang on to your coats, kids. Which is an album by Yes, and it's got 4 songs on there, each of them 22, 23 minutes long.
Is that the double album?
It's a double album.
1 song per side.
1 song per side, and each song is about one of the 4 shastric rules set down by a yogi from India. That's as prog as you can get, I reckon. I think if you look at your Progrock, that's right up there.
And so that's your benchmark. That's
it. That's it. That's kind of like, if you're touching that, yeah, you're very wrong. I think length of song is the only thing that would dip that into proggy. I think subject matter, I think language and lyrics take it away from the prog.
And likability of the music, perhaps.
Likability of the music, yes. Yeah, it's not a tough listen. Whereas if you want to sit down and listen to Tales of Topographic Oceans, you have to set aside half a day.
Why do proggies do it? Just because they can say, "Oh, I've listened to that, you haven't." Well,
I don't know. I mean,
it's like I've just flailed myself with a chained whip. Well done.
The thing with Topographic Oceans is there are 3 sides which are kind of, oh, this is all right, this is all right. And then every now and then they stick a hook in and you think, oh, this is great. And then
why can't they just play more of that sort of bit?
Well, yeah, they should condense it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yes.
Listening for 20 odd minutes just so you can get the 30 seconds of really good bit. Oh, it's worth it just for that. Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to be too controversial here, but that could almost be perhaps, and I'm trying to explain prog here to somebody who hates prog, but do you think that the prog is perhaps tantric music? In as much,
your answer is that delayed gratification.
Yeah,
I've got to listen to 30 minutes of absolute tripe.
No, not tripe. No, not tripe.
Well, no, boredom or just to get to that minute of absolute absolute excellent. But if you just forward it to that moment of absolute excellent, it wouldn't have the same effect as just being bored out your skull for 30 minutes first.
Okay, right. Okay, no. You see,
No, that's not.
No, and you see what the way because I'm going with the whole point being tantric, rumpy pumpy. Okay, which is supposedly very enjoyable.
Holding on the edge.
You just hold it on the edge the whole time. Now that sounds great, but then there's that denouement. That's a better word for it, isn't it? A nice denouement when everything comes to a crescendo.
Right.
So you're having a nice time as you go there.
No, you don't.
And you're so anti-prog.
The whole analogy just falls a little bit short.
Okay.
But if you want to put that sexual, it'll help you go longer.
And I mean, I don't know how personal we can get here, but
no, I think we need to finish this.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Right. Your final thoughts on your beer there. Have you nearly finished it or not?
No. I'll tell you what, it's not. Mind you, I've probably not drank it as quick as that Fax beer. It's not got worse. In fact, it's probably got a little bit better as I've gone through it. It hasn't got more syrup. It's held the flavour all the way through. Held the flavour. It hasn't got more syrupy as the Fax did. So that's a tick, but it's still a little bit syrupy. I wouldn't drink this one again.
Yeah. This has got better the further it's gone down. It's nice. The sweetness went.
Right.
But on the whole, it's been...
Is it more dark chocolate now then?
Yes.
Spot on.
Yeah. There's still a hint of sweetness about there, but on the whole...
Is the coffee still coming through at the end as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Right, we're going to leave it there, people.
Yep.
It's been lovely. And we've witted on plenty enough. So
yes.
Tune in again. And if you want to do that, like, subscribe, and perhaps comment.
Bye.
Bye.